You are listening to the It's Your Time podcast, and I'm your host, Certified Life Coach Michelle Arnold Burke. In today's episode, I'm discussing mastering time, how to stop letting your calendar control you. Welcome to the It's Your Time podcast, the podcast where busy professionals like you get the practical solutions and support you need to gain control of your schedule so you can strive to be the best in your career, but without the stress and overwhelm. If you're looking to increase your energy and decrease your stress, you are in the right place. Hello. Welcome back to the podcast, friends. I am so happy you are here. And I want to tell you, make sure you listen till the end because I have something new that I am offering and I want to make sure you are able to grab it. So today I am talking to all of you who feel like your calendar is running your life instead of the other way around. You know the feeling, right? The endless to-do list, the back-to-back calls, and still trying to squeeze in some personal time. And if you've ever wondered how to take control of your time and actually find balance, this episode is for you. Because here's the truth. Mastering your time is less about doing more and more about being intentional. Realizing this and committing to believing it has been a game changer for me and for the clients that I work with. It's really about focusing on what matters most to you while staying mindful and flexible in how you approach your day. So by the end of today's episode, you are going to have a roadmap for creating a system that works for you. Now, let's go ahead and get started. Here's the thing. Time isn't something we can create more of, but we can manage how we approach it. And it all starts with mindfulness. If you're constantly rushing from one task to the next, feeling like you're running around like a chicken with your head cut off, it is easy to lose sight of what is actually important. And that's why starting your day with intention is non-negotiable. And one of the simplest ways to set your tone for the day is by building a morning routine. I love a morning routine, and I cannot tell you how much of a difference it has made in my life. And I will be honest, I have changed it up over the years. And I really want to encourage you to be willing to do the same for yourself, depending on the season of life that you are in. Now, I am not saying you need to follow my morning routine because for some folks, it seems a little cray-cray. And I am not saying that you need to wake up at 5 a.m. and run a marathon before breakfast. But simply taking a few intentional moments can make all of the difference. For example, consider starting with a morning mantra, something like, today I choose progress over perfection, or I have just the right amount of time today. I know, I will tell you, that was one that I had to practice for a long, long time because my coach suggested it to me. There's always enough time, and I thought she was batshit crazy. She was out of her mind. But I will tell you, it is true. We always have the perfect amount of time. And saying this out loud, even as you're like maybe brushing your teeth or doing your hair, it really creates a mental shift. It's like reminding yourself, I am in charge of the day. And how empowering is that? And from there, you're better positioned to tackle what's next. And speaking of tackling, here's one quick pro tip. Do a brain download for everything that is swirling in your head. I love a brain download. There is a lot that swirls in our heads, my friends, and half the time we don't even realize what is going on in there. So getting all of your to-do items out of your mind and onto paper can be a game changer. And trust me, this one step alone will instantly clear the mental clutter and give you a clearer view of what actually needs to be done. Our brains are not made for storage. They are made to process. And so getting the to-dos out helps you to gain insight as to what really needs to be done. And seeing all of the items allows you the space to start deciding what you want your day to look like versus telling yourself you have so much to do and you don't know where to start. Right? That's where we start to feel stressed and overwhelmed. It is important to be intentional with what you are telling yourself. And let's start the morning with telling ourselves something that is super useful. Okay, now let's dive into 5 steps to truly take control of your calendar. And these aren't just theories. They are actionable steps that you can implement today. Number 1, self-awareness. The first step is recognizing your strengths and the areas where maybe you tend to struggle. So, are you great at big picture thinking, but maybe tend to procrastinate on details? Or do you overcommit because saying no feels uncomfortable? Being honest with yourself is the key. And part of self awareness is acknowledging what's actually achievable in a day. This is where that to do download that I mentioned earlier comes in. Write down everything: work tasks, personal errands, even those little nagging things that you keep putting off. Seeing it all on paper helps you to prioritize and to stop carrying it all in your head. That alone will alleviate so much stress for you. Okay, next, set a clear vision for your week. What do you want to accomplish? And more importantly, why does it matter? And I would even say not just the week, but do this daily. Set a clear vision every single day. Take a few minutes to visualize what your ideal day or week looks like and ask yourself, what does success feel like today? Maybe it's hitting your sales targets and making time for dinner with your family. When you're clear on what you want, it is so much easier to say no to the distractions that don't align with that. And I will tell you, for so many women, just answering that question, what do you want, can be a challenge. But I want to offer you the idea that it will change your life. Because a lot of times we just run around saying yes to everyone and we take on so much. When you have clarity on what it is that you want, it's much easier to say no and understand for yourself why you are doing it. It allows you to open up to more of the yeses that you want in life. And I always say, make your decision and like your reason for it. If you haven't taken the time to understand your reason, then that's where we kind of get in this state of confusion and stress and overwhelm and feel like we need to be doing what everybody thinks we should be doing. And we shit all over ourselves as to, I should be doing that or I shouldn't be doing that. Take a moment, take a breath, and decide, what is it that you want? And now that you have your vision, it's time to plan strategically. This is where time blocking comes into play. Now, time blocking is simply setting specific times for specific tasks. So you might block your morning for prospecting, or maybe your afternoon is for client calls, and then you have a slot at the end of the day for follow-ups. I know when I first started doing this, I would have time set aside on Fridays, and it was my Focus Friday time. My teammates were like, what is she doing? Focus Friday? But it can make all of the difference. Now, I will say I prefer to do that over the weekend, and it really allows me to kind of get the week started on the right foot. And don't forget to block out personal time, whether it's a workout, maybe it's a coffee break, or maybe it's just 5 minutes to hide in your car and breathe in and out. And here's a game changer. Leave buffer zones in that calendar because listen, life happens, right? Calls run long and emergencies pop up, and giving yourself some wiggle room makes a huge difference for staying on track. Okay, step 4 is all about taking action, but with flexibility. Start with small, realistic steps. For example, if you have blocked 30 minutes for prospecting, focus on making 5 calls instead of worrying about the entire list. And I've talked about this here before. Darren Hardy talks a lot about this when he's discussing the compound effect in his book, The Compound Effect. And you can also find him on YouTube discussing the compound effect. Because small changes over time add up to lasting differences in your life. And here's the big one. Be adaptable. Sales is unpredictable, right? A deal that you thought was closed might fall through. A patient might pop up on your schedule. A new opportunity might pop up out of nowhere. You never know for sure. But when you have a clear vision and a flexible plan, it's easier to pivot without feeling overwhelmed. Okay, now, finally, step 5, reflection and growth. This is where I encourage you to do a weekend reset. So set aside 30 minutes. Maybe even 15 if you're starting, right? Just for you at the end of the week, and look back at what went well and what didn't. And ask yourself, what did I accomplish? And what could I have done differently? This is not about beating yourself up, by the way. It's about learning and growing. And don't forget to celebrate your wins, no matter how small. Acknowledge what you have done and use that momentum to move forward. We need to tell ourselves the things that are actually going right in our life. So often, we go to bed at the end of the day and think about all of the things that we didn't get done. What I'm suggesting is that your momentum and your energy will increase if you start reminding yourself about all of the things that you were able to accomplish. So let's go ahead and recap the steps. Number 1, cultivate self-awareness and get those to-dos out of your head. Number 2, set a clear vision for what matters most. Number 3, plan strategically with time blocking. Number 4, execute with focus, but stay flexible. And number 5, reflect and reset every weekend so that you can keep growing and evolving. And remember, starting each day with that mantra and ending each week with a reset, those are just 2 very simple but powerful ways to create balance and clarity. Now, if you are ready to take this even further, I told you I have something new for you. I have something just for you. You can download my free new guide. It's your time priority playbook, and it is the ways that you can master work-life balance without feeling guilty. It is packed with strategies for you to be able to take what you have heard in this podcast episode and apply it to your life in a way that works for you. It really is going to be a great tool for you to begin implementing what work-life balance, work-life integration looks like for you in a personalized way. Because here's the thing, you don't have to choose between, crushing your sales goals and having a life that you love. And so often we think about this as being or. I am always talking about the power of and. You can have both. Crush the numbers, be amazing in your professional career, and enjoy life. You just need to have the right tools and begin using them. Commit to using them for yourself, and then be the example for others as to what is possible. So head to michelleburkecoaching.com/mytime and grab your copy today. Remember, Burke is Bourque, and I will have the link in the show notes. And as always, I would love to hear from you. So share your biggest takeaways from today's episode, or let me know how you're taking back control of your time. All right, friends, this is always so much fun. This has truly been such a game changer on so many levels. And remember, how we do one thing is how we do most things. So if you can commit to giving yourself the time to be in control, to start making changes, to embrace what work-life balance looks like for you without feeling guilty, it will make all of the difference. And I want you to remember, it is your time. You've totally got this. Okay, friends, that's what I have for you today. Let's meet back next week. But for now, make it a great day. Take care. Did you know you can take this work to a deeper level with me one-on-one? Go to michelleburkecoaching.com and click on Get Started to begin.